I've been to many Web3 events, but this is probably the most beautiful place I've talked to. It's going to be hard to top this, so thank you for the organizer. And we're going to present the panel. We're going to talk about how can NFT make the world better through tokenization, through gaming, through charity. And I will talk with Alessandro Brigato from Toknox, with Antonio Ramicello from Crown Chaser and Incantum Games, and the least but not the last, with Alessandra Brendi from Nifty Naples. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? And we can start after. You do. Oh.
Okay. So, hello everybody. Thank you for having me here. And I'm Alessandro Brigato, the CEO of Toknox. Toknox is a tokenization platform to improve the document management in first instance. And so we generate token to improve workflow and digitize every kind of process.
GM guys, my name is Antonio. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Incantum Games. We build games. We have been building games for the past 10 years. We released 3 mobile games. They did pretty okay, 15 million downloads worldwide. Now we are working on our 4th title. I think the intersection between blockchain and gaming. The name is Crown Chaser. Thank you for inviting me here, and yeah, let's go.
My name is Alessandra. I'm from Nifty, the founder of Nifty Naples. I'm doing phygital jewelry, promoting work inclusion for women with tough lives, but I'm not going to say anything more because we have the talk later, so I don't want to spoil it.
Amazing. Thank you, guys, and I'm happy to be on the panel with you. So blockchain has enabled a wide range of applications, from tokenization to gaming and charity. So just as an introduction, how do you see the role of NFTs evolving in the next 5 or 10 years?
So I think the tokenization is a masterpiece in this field, and it's very important to tokenize, I think, everything, because we can improve every digital workflow or process thanks to tokenization. So every file could be digitized, but could be tokenized. And so we have to start to create a transparent workflow, transparent processes, have a traceability of everything. So in gaming, in charity, of course, maybe are the first applications. The art is another one. But for the charity, for example, we can trace everything and we can track the money thanks to the blockchain, and we can have more transparency about that. And so maybe you can improve it, you can boost also the charity field, because you know what are you doing, where the money are going. And so I think it's first topics, but everything, workflows, bank, insurances, bonus for example, in the governments. When you have a bonus, you can track it, and I think it's the first thing we have to do in the digital world.
Yeah, NFT, they comes from a long story. We came from apes, and now we are in a church. This is quite a journey, right? And I like the way the industry is going, where essentially we are getting a lot of utility out of NFT. They started as a lifestyle, so it's about a status symbol, more or less. And now we are integrating them in our real economy to give them a sense, right? A reason of existing. And that's why, for example, in gaming, we are applying them to the asset, where essentially for the past 30 years, gaming has been like, okay, you buy the asset, or whenever you see a movie on Netflix, it's like you are paying for something, but that something is not yours, right? Because you have the license. And essentially, as soon as you stop paying, or like they decide that they want to blacklist you, you essentially lose all your access and rights to those items. Well, NFT comes handy in this case, enabling the true ownership, meaning that nobody can just come and tell you, okay, now this is mine again. And yeah, this is actually extremely helpful even to build community. And we know that one of the most important things in crypto is community as of now. So having an NFT can make people feel part of something, make them proud of having that asset and representing over the social and over the life of every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically we are almost aligned. We see the same stuff, right? NFT will be, especially utilities NFT, I think they will become probably the only usage of this kind of technology across all the sector, from industry to charity. And for charity, for instance, of course, probably they will be in the next 10 years the only way we will be founding charity, especially because the young generation will be paying more and more attention to where this money are coming from, where they are going, but most of all, they want to, I think, be involved in the decision-making process of how to spend, so the organization and any process related to that. But also meaning community in terms of connecting people all around the world, taking care of the same special causes, so avoiding fragmentation as well. So yeah, they will be probably the future, but especially if we manage to change the way we speak about them, not as NFT, but like card or certificate using a more simplified language.
Amazing, thank you. So you kind of like already touch base on the next question. So the point of blockchain is transparency, it's inclusivity. So I was going to ask what kind of change the NFT can make, like on social impact and global inequality. So you can start it already. Can you keep going on that subject?
Yep. For social impact, of course. And I think that, as I said before, the tokenization is the first step to having transparent and clear processes. So also the social impact and so on. It's so how can I say? I think it's in every process we can have more transparency. So in the gaming art and charity, as I said before, we can track everything. And also the social impact, if you know the supply of something, or if you can track a product, if you can have less waste of paper, for example. So every process could be digitized. Everything is tracked with the blockchain, and you have NFT for everything. So it's not the art NFT or the utility or the facilities that you can add to NFTs, but you have the first soul is that everything it's digitized with the timestamp, with the history, with all transactions, and so you can apply in every field. So my opinion is not there is not one field or one sector is better than other, but every process could be could be improved thanks to the tokenization. So that's the reason that the social impact is in everything, for example, because you can track the
funds.
I don't know, everything in the public administration. So you can have transparent
Use of the money.
use of the money, use of the documents. So, for example, the onboarding process in the private and the public companies, and so you can improve. I mean everything, the real estate or the charity, as I said before, and so it's not just for the money, but all the process. If you figure out, for example, your skills on a CV, and who can check the skill and the path that you are going to do, or if someone have to have an interview with us, and you are in public company. So everything could be tracked, and why why don't do that?
Totally agree.
I think that's a great question. And actually, we have already user case around the world where NFT made an impact on the life of everyday of people, especially in South Asia. Countries like Philippines, Vietnam, they are leveraging gaming to make a living. 3 years ago, we started an academy called the Rituals Academy, where essentially we were sponsorship gaming account to players all over the world. Now, back then, playing games were very expensive. We're talking about you needed 1,000 upfront to invest in those assets, right? So what we liked about the project was about having win-win situation, where essentially we were sponsorship those accounts, we were bringing in the money while the user were bringing their time, right? And they were earning while having fun. And this was a life choice and actually made different life for the better. That's because some of those users, they were spending, their money for things like PlayStation and entertainment, but some other they spend it them for more serious topics like health. Some of our scholars they had parents with healthy condition, and thanks to their time playing games, they have been able to fix their health solution condition. So it's about this is the good thing about crypto. It's about making them accessible and empowering people that unfortunately have been, living the wrong side of the world, in a sense, right? So this is a way for crypto to disrupt the industry in a way where we switch from being, it's not about where do you live or where you are born, but it's more about your skill and who you want to be.
Well, in charity, I think NFT have quite, let's say, two big superpowers. I'm coming from autism, for example, so anything related to the neurodiversity or neurological disabilities as well. And we have two main issues that I have been facing. The first one is that we are all very fragmented all around the world. You have thousands and thousands of associations, movements, social media pages, and influencers, but it's really hard to get connected with all of them. You don't really know how to find them, how to speak with them, what they are doing, and there is no control of them when they go to speak with government, for example, or when they have to raise big money. NFT can give you the opportunity to be closer and have much more control on them if you use DAO, for instance, but also to have much more power when you need to take decision, because you can move a lot of people all together, all in the same place, rather than little pieces and bottles around the world. And the second superpower is that when we speak, let's take the example of autism again. We have always two ways of talking about that kind of specific neurodivergent. Or is a pity side, so people want to make cry because maybe they want to raise money, that kind of stuff. Or you have the other side, like angry family looking for support that they don't get. So it's one or the others. At the end of the day, nobody listens to you anymore. It gets boring. Nobody wants to listen to problems. And the government doesn't want to spend money on you. So at the end, it's like, yeah, okay, they talk, but we talk to ourselves. Useless. But when you use technology, for example, creating projects, when you create innovation, you give opportunity to magazine, to television, to community to speak about something different. You go to the government and say, hey guys, I'm talking about, I don't know, women empowerment, but not because I need help, but because I'm bringing you for example, a project that gives money. I'm proving a business. I'm talking in a propositive way, not at a complaining mood, which I think it's really important when you need to raise attention and switch on lights on problems. Even Web3, right? If there is no Web3, if there was no NapulETH, if there was not me, okay, Nifty Naples, will we ever speak about autism in this kind of place? Maybe not. Or maybe not now, maybe in another country, but because we can bring things together, we can use technology looking at different angles, I think this can be really big difference, change the way we see our social issues as well.
Okay, so more about bringing solutions than showing the problems is good. There's something you said I should have said, I guess. Just a reminder that NFT are not just a JPEG file and certificate of authenticity, so it was, yeah, I should have reminded that before. And that's kind of the transition to my next question is, so we saw, thanks to you guys, how can NFT be used for charity, for example, trace the money, trace the process, be transparent, because when you give money to charity, you don't always know how it's going to be used, where it goes and everything. So we see the potential, but one of the problems is most people are not educated enough yet. So user adoption remains a critical challenge for blockchain-based projects. What do you believe needs to happen to make NFT and other blockchain application more accessible to the general public?
So the question about the adoption, of course, is that but we now in Web3 space. It's Web3 event, so we are used to have many applications, wallet, and so on. But in this case, I think there is we can skip a step, and we can have, for example, custodial wallet, Web2 experience, and the application that we are used to have in our workflows. For example, I'm in for the document management Dropbox, for the signature you sign, and so you just have to add a layer on this application, and you have to integrate blockchain. But you don't need to know how blockchain is or how can use a wallet. You don't need to have a seed phrase for your wallet, because you just have a user ID, a password, or KYC, or you can access with the decentralized identity, for example, and you have the same user experience that you have in the application you using every day. And so you have a blockchain as a layer that can add some perks. So you have timestamp, proof of existence, proof of immutability. You can handle a token. Maybe you can manage your secondary market for the ticketing, and you just use you have just to use the same application that you are using. So I think the aim for the builders is to create something. Okay, if you are talking about DeFi, maybe you are speaking to degen people or DeFi users or NFT scalpers or I don't know. And but if you are talking about the normal use of charity, of maybe the gaming aside, but the charity of the document management, or the track your money or track your files, your documents and the processes, I think you have to abstract this step and just use the blockchain, but you don't have to have skills or knowledge about it. And so you can have a good adoption in the future and many use cases to them.
I think we have a user experience problem in Web3 as of now, because the user journey is full of pinpoint. If I want to make a Facebook account, I just use my mail and password, and while if I want to integrate with any protocol or games, I have to download a wallet, I have to do a password, I have to save my seed phrase. What is this seed phrase? And if I lose my seed phrase, I lose everything. And then again, after I have to sign transaction, and I need the gas fee. What is this gas fee? I have to go to an exchange. I have to put money on ramp and make the transaction and bridge those money from an L1 to L2. See, you are losing me. Imagine the normal user when they're trying to use the blockchain, right? So many think that the solution to this challenge is about education, educate the users. I'm not a fan of that. That's because you cannot educate 1 billion people about adapting them to the technology. It's the technology that should wrap around them. So that's why in gaming we have wallet abstraction, where essentially you make the account, and in the back end remotely we have some magic happening where we create a wallet for you without even know that you are using the blockchain, right? So those are the solutions that I think is for the long and better terms of our industry.
Yeah, I think we have a combination of the two things that you have said as well. There is a language barrier, okay? For people like me, I'm not an engineering, I'm not an IT person at all. The only reason why I managed to get closer and closer to the blockchain is because I've listened to some videos by a digital entrepreneur. I don't think I can do his name, but he was talking like, okay, why I can use it, okay, what is it about, practically speaking, without knowing about mining or any complicated word, but just practically speaking, there is the technology, I can do that in this way. Okay, so I'm starting to be engaged. So the language barrier, even if you want to speak to people and say, oh, for example, in jewelry, I'll give you jewelry with an NFT. They will be like, what? And it's like, okay, like a supermarket card? Yes, make it digital. And they start to understand. I know it's like, you're going to kick me out of NapulETH, right, if I speak like that. But it's the only way you can engage the mass adoption. And on the other side, there is how we propose our product to our customer. Because as you said, if the user interface is complicated, even if I need to understand the steps, I will never get that. So maybe we need to put our attention in more like looking at people, not crypto user. Even events like that, if you start to putting attention for the normal, let's say, to the mass people, maybe we can understand their point of view and how we can help them in getting on board.
Totally agree. Obviously, education is important in the field, but as you said, we cannot educate that many millions of people, and they don't want to make the effort anyway. But they would be using the use cases that bring to them. So we need to meet in between, between education and making it easier for them.
I think it's a little bit like the email. The example that I normally do is email address. You know, normal people like me have no idea how the email address works, right? Do you care? I don't. But I love the technology we all use. We all understand that we need, and there is no other option to the email address. So we need to get at that level of simplicity, probably.
I love your example. I gave the same example 2 days ago on another panel with Diana. I have a question for you, Alessandro. So tokenization is transforming document management. So security and authenticity remain concerns. How does Tokenization ensure the highest levels of trust and security in a digital-first world?
So security is it's a good topic, it's a main topic, and also the authentication, digital identity, I think, when you talk about tokenization, because as I said, the first step of tokenization is tokenize everything. So you don't have to trust, you have to tokenize every kind of document, every kind of file. But when you move to valuable token, you have to face different problems or different issues. And so, for example, if you want to tokenize something, it's real. You have to create a digital twin of something. So you have two main ways. So or you have our oracle of what are you going to tokenize, and the oracle gave you a price, for example, of the token, or you have a vault, and so you can store your vault, for example, gold, and you can tokenize that, or real estate. You can put real estate in a vault, but you have to physically own this token, and then you create a digital twin. And this is the first step. Then you have the digital identity. So we, for example, in Tokenization, we enroll the European Blockchain Sandbox on the European Commission to speak with all the regulatories, because now we have many different digital identity. And for example, in Italy, we have Carta d'identità, so ID, electronic ID, and then we have another national card of services, and then we have SPID. In France, you have other two ways of authentication, and every country has its own method for authentication. Now we are going to UD Wallet for create something, but I think it will be released in 2026. Then there is digital identity. Every blockchain try to have a digital identity, so an ID, or in Italy we have two different models. And so we have to face everything on this, because as I said, I think the next step is the merge of different technology. So maybe you have a large language model, you have AI for something, you have blockchain for track your data, you have cloud, decentralized storage thanks to the blockchain for store, archive your documents, but every step needs an improvement, and so maybe you have to recognize your ID outside the blockchain, or you need zero knowledge proof. We have the technology, but maybe the governments can't recognize this kind of proof. So we have many obstacles, many securities, open point, let me say, every day, and I think our work is to study and try and build, study, improve, test, and restart to study. So it's a difficult and long process because the technology is going very quickly, but I think technology solves some problems that we currently have. And so we have to understand the technology, try to improve, try to integrate in our processes, and we can find a solution for many problems that currently we already have.
Amazing. Um, Earlier, we talked about onboarding millions of people. What about, I mean, there's billion of users of internet. So what about if we onboard billion of users on Web3? So it's a question to you, Antonio. With over 50 million players and massive social media engagement, what lessons have you learned about integrating NFTs and blockchain into gaming? And how can these lessons be applied to onboard that many people?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Currently, we are living in an attention economy, right? Where essentially everybody, every project, every protocol, no matter the vertical, is competing for screen time. So gaming is competing against Instagram and social for getting screen time out of those users, and the same things apply for the other project, right? So having a clear communication and do marketing from the day one, building the community, it's the first thing to start a crypto project, right? That's because marketing, it's community, community becomes culture, and culture becomes narrative, and the narrative leads the space. That's why, ideally, what you have to achieve is about getting on the board the first 100 real user, real fan that are going to be like ambassador of your project, of your brand, and be your army over Twitter and other media. That's because we all know that on Twitter what works the best is making noise. So the louder you are, the better it will be. And also another important remark is about understanding the needs and the difference between the different audience, right? You have to segment them. Web2 users, in gaming, they're driven by emotion, right? They play games because they want to have fun, they want to spend time with friends, they want to hang out. While in Web3, it's about speculation. It's about making money, what is giving me the best ROI, the best yield over time, and understanding that those are two completely different audience, and you have to craft the message for them and combine them in the same ecosystem can either make or break your project, right? So that's why it's extremely important, again, having a clear communication, even if you are just in the idea stage where you don't have an MVP or you never executed that idea. Start with the community, start getting feedback, starting get people involved, let them play with the idea, right? Because the idea, when it starts to be spread among people, it starts to get more serious. So it comes from an abstraction point to actual realization point, right? And even about the idea, I know that it's hard because some builders, they think, I have this idea, this is 1 million idea. I'm sorry guys, it doesn't work like that. Like, idea is nothing without execution, right? So you can have the best idea ever, but if you are not able to execute that idea properly, it's hard that it's going to be something big. So that's why I always try to meet interesting people, talk with them, let them enjoy the idea, and why not make them part of the journey. And so create ambassadorship program, show ups every day on your social channels and things like that. This for us was the key difference that made us winning different awards as one of the most anticipated blockchain games. We have a community of 50,000 members on Discord and Twitter, and some of them, they show up every day, right? That's even if they don't have a game to play yet, because again, the game is not live yet, they like the idea, they love the idea, they want to be part of the journey, they understand the story, and they want to be part of it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Coming back to you, Alessandra, now, do your project combines NFTs with physical jewelry and charity? So how do you manage to balance the business between the business side and NFTs and your mission to support charitable causes, because you're aiding women in difficulty? So yeah, if you can explain us.
So the link between NFT and charity and business is that NFT are just a tool to create a new space in the market. So I've chosen jewelry for several reasons, and trying to make it innovative, try to make new jewelry, so making a space in the market that could drive, of course, profit, because it's a business. Use that profit for employing women, for reinvesting in the society, doing dissemination. So it's just a way for, when we said about transforming things, at the beginning, creating opportunities and talking about history using a different approach. That's exactly what we are doing. You have a market, there is some needs, right? Blockchain can perfectly meet that needs and create business. Now, it's my choice as a company if I want to employ using standard procedure, or if I want to employ giving the opportunity to work from everywhere at any time. For example, if it's a mom, she can work, I don't know, when her child is at school, when she's waiting for him outside, maybe she has like 2 hours, or if she can work at night. It's my choice as a business. I still do profit. I still need to employ someone the way I want to do. So the NFT allows me to get that revenue to make this kind of choice and make an impact.
Amazing, amazing. So what I hear is many of your projects are mixing digital and phygital worlds. So how do you envision NFTs enabling greater collaboration across sectors like gaming, art, document management, social good? And that's a question for all of you. Who would like to start?
Okay. Well, that's a great question again. I'm a fan of phygital, and actually something that is working a lot in the industry, it's about combining the NFT with the real one, the real physical object, just to give value to the user, right? And this is something that actually we have been doing for many years. Now, I think all of us had a childhood here, and they are familiar with Pokemon, right? So almost everybody of us, when we were young, we tried playing Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? And bringing the same concept to the blockchain, where essentially, okay, you play the games or you are part of the protocol, and at the same time you have the physical version of that item. It's strong. It's strong because actually, people doesn't see it just as an abstraction, like something untangible, like, okay, this is a website, this is a protocol, but actually they can look at it, they can feel it, they can touch it, right? And this is strong because at the end of the day, we are all human, and we base ourselves on the emotion. So having something to where we can connect to, it's strong. It's strong, yeah.
Amazing. Do you want to add something?
I think phygital is all around experience. The experience can be between a physical object and a screen, but it can be between a digital asset on your mobile phone and a shop where you physically go and you feel recognized because they looked at your NFT and they can think, oh, I know who you are and I can offer you something different. Or it can be like we are doing at NapulETH in the evening, right? You have an NFT and you have access to event. So it's all around experience, and NFT are, I think, the perfect way, even for doing collaboration and cross-sector between all of us. For instance, right, I do jewelry and I do charity, and you do gaming. Why in the NFT will be maybe the easiest way to connect to one day our community. So you can join mine, I can join yours, and create cross-values together, benefit for all of us. Even mixing generation, because maybe the lady who will buy my ring will never play, for example, but because she has my ring, we do an NFT together, maybe she can start playing and find out another way she can understand her child, why she, or her son, why he plays. And on the other side, a younger generation can maybe get closer to social values and do, again, a crossover of sector and experiences. Still digital somehow, because maybe you have your physical asset as well. Create like more and overall co-value, co-creation.
Yes, I mean, I agree with them. I think there are different ways, as I said before. So when you talk about phygital, maybe we think there is something that is the digital twin or something like hybrid, but I think we can add as in the use case or the other topics I mentioned before, but we can add a layer in everything. For example, digital. Think about luxury. We can have our luxury watch, and maybe we have the physical watch, the full set, the box, and so on, and we can add a warranty card, but could be an NFT. And so you have a digital. You can add value to the physical object, but it's not a substitute. So it's not alternative. It's I mean, I think we should do. It's another kind of technology we have to integrate. We don't think about there is a separate market about speculation. Of course, most of us are here even for the speculation. But I think we found another technology that can be merged and integrate in luxury, in game. Okay, gaming is digital asset, so it's perfect for the gaming, but also for the gaming. When I think about, for example, FIFA Ultimate Team, you have the card, and they are at NFT. I don't know the supply. I don't know how rare is a card or another. You mentioned about Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. So in every kind of also gaming, or you know how rare is a rifle in a war game, and so everything could be an NFT. So we discover blockchain. In the year we integrated the blockchain for the money transfer. We discovered different standard of NFT. The NFT, the hybrid NFT. So we have we can manage all the payment, and we can manage the token, the rarity, the scarcity of the token. We can upgrade the metadata. We have a set of tools. When we talk about token or NFT, we think about EVM compatible, but we have different blockchain. We have Algorand, for example. We work also on Algorand for the institution. We have Solana. We have different technological stack. So it's not like about NFT and digital, but how can you do with the NFT? How can you manage the data? How can you transfer this NFT? How can you upgrade the ownership? And how can you give security and safeness to this transfer? And we have a lot, and many are coming up. We have a lot of different standard and technology. We have Ethereum request for comment, proposal, and so on. So I think we know the technological stack. We can think about how can we use for luxury, for gaming, for the onboarding processes, and our aim, our challenge is to generate, to create, to build for merge for the needs that are coming up and merge the technology. So it's not different silos. It's all the same thing. And we have just to integrate blockchain for everything, because I think also for the attendance, for the bachelor, for the CVs, as I said before, you can tokenize it, and you can have also the digital asset, the physical asset, and you can create a digital asset, or you can have physical the watch. You can tokenize the watch. You can fractionize for sharing, for revenue, for having APR, or also for adding something other. So fidelity card, if you are a Rolex user, a Rolex fan, or the warranty card is something that you add. So it's not like just digital. It's not like just the digital twin, but it's a lot of things that you can work together.
I have some. Talking about digital, I don't know if you may agree with me. I think it's maybe also the easiest way to clean, the image that we have about blockchain and NFT. Because in the past it was all about speculation, it was all about something fake, it's all about, stealing people. But when you say digital, especially if you are really physical experiences like ticketing for concert, or it can be guaranteeing, it helps to clean the narrative across the blockchain, because people start to understand how they can use. We are going back to the mass adoption. So we are moving them away from the investment, we're moving them away from the technology, but we are moving the attention to a specific widget. So when you say, it's for stealing money, no, you have a card because you can go to the concert. Why I need a card and not a ticket? Because you can resell if you don't go anymore to the concert. You don't have like black market. People are like, oh, so it's not for stealing, but actually for helping me. So phygital can be maybe, and don't know what you think, a key in that direction.
Yes, of course. When I present our application, but also in notarization, the first problems we try to solve is counterfeiting, plagiarism, fakes, apocryphal signatures. So when you have a tokenized word, you don't care about NFT, the Bitcoin or the speculation about it, because you know NFT is a tricky word. Because you think about NFT, the first things you come up with NFT maybe is the people auction about okay, so now we have the art is tokenized, why you have tokenized, why all this money, you cannot understand in the depth what you are going to do. But with the tokenization, maybe you can have NFT ticketing. You can avoid the black market, you can handle the secondary market, and you can have more revenue about it. You can't avoid the counterfeiting, the plagiarism. So you have a digitized world. So maybe I'm a little bit repetitive, but if you tokenize everything, you can handle, you can improve the management of these, of every kind of process. Because for the ticketing, for example, you have primary market, secondary market. You can generate revenue. You can't avoid people that, for the black market, for the fakes, for the speculation about that maybe is more than speculation about NFT. So.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. The industry is coming from a bull market where essentially we had a lot of rug pull. So that's why normies are not very into crypto and NFT. That's because they don't understand it, and most importantly, they don't trust it, right? So having something that actually it's visible definitely helps with the credibility, and at the same time, having trackable records of the items on chain, it's the best way on how to manage an economy, right? There is this study that say on-chain economy, they are more real economy than the real economy that we use. That's because if someone asks to you how many euros we have in circulation, right? We somehow have an idea. But how many, like from 2022 or 2023, things like that? This is where it's starting to be tricky, like getting access to the data and controlling the data. While on blockchain, everything is open, right? So everything at a glimpse, you can have access to what you are looking for. And this helps with accountability and trustability. So it's not about, okay, we have spent those money, we had this budget, we spent here X, here Y, and here Z. But actually, you have access to those budgets and understanding, what's happening. And yeah, so huge fan of what you proposed about having physical items and at the same time make them trackable.
Amazing. So what I heard is the image of the public about blockchain is really different from the reality, and that phygital could be a way to bring back trust. And what you were saying also is that digital is not just going to replace everything physical, but it can coexist and be linked to it. So very interesting. Okay, so we saw that NFTs and tokenization redefine the concept of ownership. And to mirror my question, my first question, will be my last question to open up the discussion. So how do you foresee tokenized assets, whether in gaming, document management, luxury goods, to change traditional notions of value and ownership in the next decade? Hard question. Who wants to start?
Yes, again, let's do some example, right, to make the statement clear. When you buy a car, for example, you can do multiple things with your car, right? You can drive from point A to point B. You can use it to make some money, right? So you start Uber Food, whatever. You can rent it to a friend, right? So it has utility. But once it comes to digital items, you can do neither of them, right? The same thing applies for house. You can live inside an house, you can rent it on Airbnb, you can have friends in an house. I mean, you can even burn the house. I mean, I don't suggest burning an house. Let me make it clear, but you can. At the same time, when we are talking about digital assets, you are very limited with your option. It's either you can use it and stop. There is not another things that you can do with that. And with the tokenization, it comes the true ownership, right? Meaning that you don't only have access to it, but you actually own it. So one day, if I want to give to her my gaming items, I can do freely. I can even make some money out of the speculation or out of the royalties, because this is another revenue model that the blockchain enables, right? For the creators and the artists. So again, I think there is needs for those kind of assets, and the concept of those tokenization is still early. It's around, how old is the industry at all? 3 years, 4 years that we are starting to do this deep conversation about the utility. So it will require time, but at some point I think that's the right direction where we are heading to.
I think that we will probably change the concept of ownership and the idea of ownership. We will be switching to engagement, overall engagement, because each NFT has a project, right, on the back. You can trust that project, you don't trust that project. You trust the company, and you don't trust that company. So if it's utility NFT, yes, you can use it or you don't use, but you can still hold the NFT if you still trust that business. For instance, you have an NFT doing token gating on a shop. Maybe you don't do any shopping on that market because at the moment you don't have any asset, you are not interested in buying anything. I mean, physical, let's say like an Amazon, right? Where you can buy assets. You don't do because I don't need products. But I can still hold the NFT if I trust that there is something good in that business. While I can have the best possible usage of that NFT, I can offer the best product. But if I'm lying to the market, if me, for example, will not employ women anymore, but will start doing the opposite, I can have an amazing shop. I can do an amazing product, but people will start selling their NFT because they lose trust in me. So I think they will be they will give you a temperature as a business in how much your community and how good you are doing in terms of relationship. It doesn't matter the way you want to use, even if you do a collection, right? You can do a collection, I don't use it at all. But I can feel proud of being part of an environment. I can feel proud of being a NapulETH. On the other side, I can say, you know what, I don't want to be involved. I don't want to have Bitcoin. I don't want to have any of that because I don't feel they are aligned with me. So we will not be talking, I suppose, in the next year about ownership, which is important because it makes trust, trustability, so all of that. But the final goal, I think, will be engagement as an overall word.
Very interesting. Did you want to add something?
No, nothing. I agree with you. I think.
Okay. We have maybe a few more minutes for questions. Does anybody? Yeah, don't be shy. There's a Slido app, I know, so maybe some of you.
There is coffee after.
Maybe some of you submitted question on the app. Oh, there's the gentleman on the back that also has a question. Maybe I can just. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm curious to understand the use case of document management. So my question is around the scalability and how to manage the scalability issues and also the gas fee this can generate.
Yeah. So the scalability about the blockchain and the gas fee, it's very it's scalable because we use Algorand. In this case, we create an RC19 token. It's very low fee. It's sustainable. It's very quick, very fast blockchain. So when I mean there is different standard, different blockchains, depends on the need. So in this case, we don't care about the project because we are going to tokenize an asset. So we are not Bored Ape Yacht Club, so we are on Ethereum. We have to find something with the liquidity about that market, so Ethereum or EVM compatible market. In this case, we can use Algorand, even if there is no great adoption on Algorand, because the blockchain works very well. It's very quick. It's greenest. And greenest, they said it's greenest, but it's green. And the fees are very low. It's 1 cent of Algorand, so very, it's you don't care about the transaction. And for the scalability, if you mean the adoption, as I said, we start from notarization. We already have a use case on notarization. We work with BNL, for example, BNP Paribas branch, with Auditel, with EMQ for the certification, for the certificates and for the traceability and the verification of those certificates. And with the tokenization, we can do that better. So you can imagine you can figure out about a Dropbox, but with the blockchain inside. And so every document you can choose if you want to archive, not archive, or archive in the cloud storage, decentralized storage, distributed storage, cloud storage, for example, Kabit. And then you have the hash of the document on the blockchain. Very quick, low fees, because you are not using gas fee like Ethereum. And so you can manage the file in a quick way. So which is the use case? For example, I want to make a deal to Alice and Bob with maybe a third party, and so you can create the token, and so you know that a document exists. You generate the token. All the transaction is like a transaction on the blockchain. You have on the metadata, and I can ask someone to sign. I can sign the document. I can ask someone to sign. And if you integrate the digital identity, for example, in the notarization platform that is called Dedit, is not Tokenox, that it's already on the market. We use Speed in Italy, and you have advanced electronic signature. And it's okay for BNL for 5 or 6 different workflows, and you can use that. Or if you want to say that your I don't know, your idea, your patent, something that you create exists, you can use the blockchain. You can notarize, or you can generate a token. If you generate a token, you can track your process, and you can manage the token better than the simple notarization. And then maybe in the future you can redeem your token if it's something valuable, and you can handle with the different wallets, and maybe you can have also a non-custodial wallet. I don't know. I cannot figure out the future. In this moment, just you have the platform for tokenize the token, generate a token, upgrade and update the metadata, and manage in a specific workflow.
Thank you. We might have more time for another question. Does anybody have another question? Maybe not. Anybody wants to have the word of the end?
Yeah, I want to thank you once again for having me today on the stage. I hope that you have got some value from my experience to build games, if you are whatever gamers or not. And yeah, thank you again, and see you around.
Yes, thank you everybody for being here, and thank you to the organizer.
Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much, Victor, for your moderation. And we are ready to